on chugging. Ran through everything in front of me, might smoke bed in heaven. Got a whole agenda, can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender. Got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it in FT to get them when they're hand and crypto, learn how to fix that. I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that. Some opportunities are never come unless you paying attention, so no, I can't miss that. Moving, MVP, I got the record, I might have to pro something. Big jumper worthy, they gon' have to retire my jersey early. Whole crew coming, had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that. Big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that. Work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends, yeah, I did all that. Had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that. Yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs. I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'm a jacket like Letterman, y'all but not let them in, they gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling, started a chain, the cycle is heaven sent, this is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit, I'm a pit bull in this element, yeah, said you gon' pull up then settle it, yeah, I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch out step in it, yeah, and I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here, watch out touchdown, pulling plans out the clutch, everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now, have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that, big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that, work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends, yeah, I did all that, had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my, yeah. Run it, I can't take no loss, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, I don't even know what it costs, yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my, been ready, used to hold myself back, my self-esteem damn bad, gotta keep on chugging, ran through everything in front of me, might smoke bed in heaven, got a whole agenda, can't aspire to get ahead, so bump that, it's no surrender, got a dollar flipped up, I'm trying to get it in FT to get them when they're hand and crypto, learn how to fix that, I don't really hold out of books, but I'ma learn how to fix that, some opportunities are never come unless you paying attention, so no, I can't miss that, moving, MVP, I got the record, I might have to pro something, big jumper worthy, they gon' have to retire my jersey early, whole crew coming, had to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that, big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that, work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends, yeah, I did all that, had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year, yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my big dog, walking big talk, young veteran, living legend, bet I'm better than them. This is my ship, I'm a jacket like Letterman, y'all but not let them in, they gon' rotate this, so I keep the pedaling, started a chain, the cycle is heaven sent, this is from God, but I'm not your reverend, not in the pulpit, I'm a pit bull in this element, yeah, said you gon' pull up then settle it, yeah, I've been married to this hustle, this is my ring, watch out step in it, yeah, and I ain't even got a yard, but I'ma get it here, watch out touchdown, pulling plans out the clutch, everybody getting crushed, the cut down is for us now, have to work something, cause I had nothing in my pocket, yeah, I did all that, big plans, partners trying to make profits, yeah, I did all that, work, sweat, and tears breaking, even no ends, yeah, I did all that, had to make it happen, putting hours in my practice, I did all that, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, I can't take no loss, yeah, I don't even know what it costs, yeah, I hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, hit the ground, then it go off, yeah, run it, ooh, I really feel it's my time.
Hello. Here we are.
Hello, everybody.
There's gonna be a little bit of echo. We're gonna rock with this. I know you can't hear it very well, but we're gonna try and figure things out. Guess who I have next to me? We have the Chromebook day trader. I'm gonna get it.
Yes, it all started.
Looks like we're working. Today is a bit of a special day because the big man, Chromebook trader, is here. As you can see, it's going to be not our normal setup, but there's going to be a little bit of echo. But I thought, what an opportunity to go live with this man since we're in the US. And I found out, like I said on Instagram, if you haven't seen, he's very tall. He's taller than me. And he normally trades, I'll let you introduce to the guys as well, but he normally trades indices. And since we're trading indices on DarwinX, I thought it would be, what an opportunity to have him on here. So here he is.
Yeah, it's an honor to be here. It's great to actually be able to meet a fellow trader that I have admired online and be able to make a physical connection. So it's great. And already had a great cup of coffee with you, so thanks for that.
It was good, wasn't it?
It was fantastic.
Are we trading New York session? Hi, Leoma. Yes. So I will be trading the S&P 500. I can see here Walt has the Nasdaq, right?
Yep.
Nasdaq. He's looking at. I can bring the Nasdaq, the delayed data on here because I'm not as rich as the Chromebook trader, so I don't pay for the feed. But we do have this one, NAS1 from Rwanda, which, what are you on? Are you on minutes?
5 minute chart.
5 minute chart.
And my quote's at the 375. What are you at?
360, so a little bit.
50, that's pretty normal. 15,
right.
15 point difference is pretty normal between the two.
So we've opened up with a huge spike up. If we put both NAS and the S&P, let's see. US dollar index dropped below. We know we went at that 105, what we talked about. Then it started crashing down, which is interesting. I can imagine the pound dollar now is pushing up. Yeah, we're above 125s. Hi Shan, let's see who's in. Redeem and Restored, what a name. Zord, the gold trade bank. Hi Craig. Some new faces in here. I wonder if you recognize any of these guys, in case they're from your mill group. Sean, Let's See the World. Hi, Damien Stewart. Legends. Yes, we are trading the New York. So what I'm going to be trading, as you know, is my personal fund that I'm going to start. I talked about DarwinX yesterday, and we talked about they provide you and how you get into that pool. I'm just going to bring this closer so we don't get to echo. How we get into that pool of consistency, looking at 1% to 2% each month, which is crazy because we've just done that. We've done $10 already yesterday, which is telling me we need to decrease a little bit the risk on that account. And some of you were right that $100, 10% on this account is quite a big risk. So we're going to decrease that today. We're going to go 0.05 if it allows us, which would be $10, $5 for 10 pips. I know it sounds a little bit, but if you compound that in the month, then we'll be looking for that 5% in 1 month, which is huge for $1,000. But that's us. I want to get, since he's here, I want to pick up his brains. We do have a common mouse that he can use. He's not on his chart. He's He does use green and red, so that's good. But he's going to be quite unfamiliar with this setup. But I'm sure you can explain things with what you see. So I'm just going to drop on the NAS, and I'm curious to see what you are seeing so far. And you might have to lean into the microphone if it doesn't work.
Well, the very first thing I'd say is actually, let's go to a weekly chart on this. And wait, you're on the pound. Yes, let's look at a weekly chart. Let's zoom in. Now I'm gonna let you drive.
Oh, you want to drive? Okay.
Just for right now. And so put a Fibonacci on that weekly, and let's see where the 20 and 30%. Now that's on the actual weekly, the exact candle we're on.
This one here?
Yeah. So for anyone that's familiar with the ICT TGIF strategy, it's a Friday strategy. So you want to be on the existing red candle because that's our current week, not the week prior.
Got ya.
And just something to pay attention to. This not suggesting that this works out all the time, but and let's adjust the levels. Let's go into your parameters of that Fibonacci, and let's put a 20 and 30% retracement.
20 and
30. And put the 0.5 back, a positive 0.5. Just so we can see where price has gone. There you go. Now let's go down to like a 4-hour chart or 1 hour.
All right, for the people that don't know this,
yes,
let's give them a little bit, including me.
Okay.
What are we looking for? What are we doing?
So what we're looking for is ICT has taught this on his YouTube channel. He calls it the TGIF strategy, and it says generally if you look at the range of the current week's candle, that price will close 20 to 30%. Like it'll retrace to that level. So if you look at what we're looking at right now, there's two ways to look at it. Like, are we going to have a bullish day and it's actually going to completely reverse? So our Fibonacci might be backwards, depending on where we've anchored it from. So this is, this isn't a tried and true mechanical way of doing it. But we've had a bit of a bearish week right now. Friday, we're getting a good response bounce up. But if you look at the 20 and 30 levels and just the overall range, all we are right now is we're equilibrium. Right, right now we've retraced to 50%. And the 20 to 30 now, so here this is our range here. That's the 0 to 100 up here, and we're at equilibrium. Could this be a place where we see price begin to stall and reverse and come down to these 20 and 30 respective levels? Possibly. That's
would you say
right now.
Would you include such as what I see here is that fair value gap there? If I put that up.
Yeah, we could definitely run up to there.
Would you include this information into this setup, or you're just looking at?
It's really just an area from. I'm a beginner at the TGIF strategy. I think it's just so right now. Personally, I have more of a bearish lean, and so right now we're coming into equilibrium. We're now moving more into a premium where you have that fair value gap noted. That could be a great place for price to pop in there and then reverse. The question is, well, how far is it going to go down? That's where that 20 to 30% level can come into play as first targets. Of course, it could just...
So you're saying something like this?
Yep, exactly.
So what will be interesting is to see what the S&P looks like if we go back on the weekly. So use the same candle. So then we go on to 15. Is that what you were?
Sure, hour, 15, doesn't matter.
Just tapped into that now. This is...
No, it hasn't quite made it up to the 50%, so...
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to, mind you. I'm not suggesting that's a requirement. I'm just noting that.
I've just noticed we don't have the numbers because this is based on a weekly. So you have to zoom out quite a bit to see the numbers. So this is the 50% here, 30, 20. So 30 and 20, we're talking about targets, as always.
Yes. So if you're thinking any kind of short, this could be a place where price might gravitate towards. And again, guys, this is a beginner taking some of these lessons that ICT has been dropping over the last few months, and beginning to take note of them.
I love how different brains look at something and see it in different lenses, yep. Right? Because what my eye goes straight away here is we've got a bit of a breaker forming here.
Yes.
So you got that there, intermediate high. Could this, which would confirm the 30% retracement, could we be looking for a push into this, down into the highs for a continuation up? Or is this doing something like that? And it's interesting because both concepts can be true.
Absolutely.
And we're looking at the same chart. The crypto queen, hello Walt and Yanis, yay. Who is that mate with you? So I'm gonna pop his channel in here, and you guys should go and subscribe to this guy because he's a legend.
Oh, like legend, now we're using big words.
And I heard, this is interesting because in America, you don't use legend lightly, do you?
No.
So in the UK, everyone is a legend. So
that's like brilliant, right? Everything's brilliant.
It means like a super cool guy. You're a legend.
Cool, right? I like it. I'll take it.
The Chromebook.
There you go, top one.
Trader. I'm just gonna pop. It's just posted a video 7 days ago. He's slacking.
I'm slacking. Don't worry, an update's gonna be posted this weekend.
That's cool. Right, let's post his. I'm gonna pin his channel on here so you can go and drop this guy some love. Pin message, there we go. Here's a question for you, I think. Why is ES1 trading at different price to ESU?
Yeah, got it. It's because the ES1 is a continuous contract, and so it's not actually taking into consideration the exact contract itself. The current price should be the same though. Let me look. I have it on mine. I can do it.
You got it? I'm just gonna set up the dailies, guys. I do want to trade today. Obviously, we've got a big guest here, so I might be taking less risk just because we're a bit distracted. My thoughts on this, as I see it, we talked about it yesterday. We talked about this daily fair value gap that it never tapped into. But my eye goes straight away to this retracement. So we've got a big push into this fair value gap here. Created equal highs, which is, I find this crazy with indices. Price can be very precise.
Yes.
It goes literally to the same price. Where in Forex, there's a little bit more room, it slips a bit more.
Different brokers, different spreads.
Exactly, so, and different volume of trading as well. So let me just change this. I need to save this as Walt. You're in my templates.
Oh.
So I'm gonna change that to our retracement, so then we can quickly change it. Look at that, we dropped into that 61.8. Pushing back above the 38.2 now, and we're trading in that 1 hour fair value gap. So let's put the dailies in. And the reason I'm gonna go smaller size is because I do want to reposition. So that's gonna be a bit trickier to do if we do it with 0.1, which would mean $10. Remember, this is a very small account. Let's change this, previous daily high, Fibonacci, our normal stuff. Look at that. equilibrium of the previous day is exactly on the 50% of that retracement of that move. So that's quite interesting. Put that in there, put equilibrium. I'm being selfish here and preparing for a trade. Let's close that. Right, so we just traded above the previous daily high. This is from yesterday where we were looking for the breaker. Up here, traded below. Now it's pushing higher. Could this react to this 1 hour fair value gap? Trade back into this high for a continuation up. Remember, we were a bit of volume coming in now. What time is it? 10:30. Also, silver bullet time. So where is that liquidity? Could see that big drop here in that fair value gap now. How high can we go? Fair value gaps are being formed just here and below. Here's a question for you, Walt.
Yeah.
So in a move like this, where you have multiple fair value gaps, which one do you use, or do you look at the percentage of retracement?
So recently I've been looking at these fair value gaps very differently, and I'm looking at them for what they are. They're inefficiencies.
Mm-hmm.
And so it actually changes my bias at times where I'm in fact expecting price to redeliver so that it's delivering efficiently, and I would expect it to actually come back and retrace that.
So you're expecting a retracement all the way to equilibrium sort of thing?
Yes, that's where I'm finding myself more times than not observing that those inefficiencies need to be addressed. It's not always going to happen. It's not always going to happen the same day, of course. As you know.
Funny enough, though, that is in the golden zone of the Fibonacci retracement of 0.5 to 61.8. And OTE, if you're trading ICT OT entry, 61.8 is exactly very close to that fair value gap bottom area there. So it all comes together.
Yeah.
Who we got? We got Bessem. We got the person called Legend. The music design. Thank you. Sujid. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I think his is weaker than NQ. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, depends on how you're looking at it. I have a chart where I'm looking at all three. The Dow, ES, and NQ. And ES is pushed harder than NQ.
Mm-hmm.
So and right now the dollar is also coming off of a low and looks like it's gaining some strength. So keeping my eye on that a little bit.
Well, the dollar actually, if we look at it, it's just broken below 104.75. Failed to go to the 104.6, which is quite an area of interest, has been for the dollar. And now it's retracing back into 104.8. My big question about the dollar index, if we look at it on the big picture, the daily, it's been screaming up for a long time.
Yeah.
So is this just a small retracement for a continuation of strength on the dollar, or is it an actual reversal on the dollar index? My big question about Forex, I know you don't trade a lot of Forex, but my question on this is how much more pounding is the pound dollar gonna be taking, and all the currencies against the dollar index, which is, for me, has been fascinating to watch. And I know ICT mentions he's quite staying away from currency at the moment, and that might be a reason. But what's your thoughts on what's going on?
Well, just looking at the dollar and looking where it's at and where it's responding, like this on my chart, I'm looking at a 15-minute chart. So if you want to pull it up, we could kind of mirror each other here. And what has price done? Like you said, it identified it, took out that liquidity, it rebalanced this whole area that was previously delivered as that buy side imbalance you got right there. And now it's responding out of it. And clearly this whole thing, if you zoom out, it's a range, right? So you have the G20 meeting this weekend. I don't know actually how long that lasts. I didn't pull up the calendar, but
yeah,
things to be aware of.
Do you look at round numbers?
I am aware of them, but it's not a key part of how I trade, but I am definitely aware of them.
I do like you see like the 105, like a big round number, how it responded here, how it was holding and then it broke higher, retracement into that Fibonacci retracement of a monthly level. And now we're starting to see a little bit of a bearish sort of ICT structure where you're breaking the lows, filling up fair value gaps, coming lower, failing to break the highs. So almost like creating a bit of a downtrend, if you want, starting to look like. But then this could be, like you said, very easily grabbing liquidity from this move for a push higher.
Yeah.
Who knows?
It accomplished two things. It rebalanced that one candle that had that inefficiency by taking liquidity. So two things have been accomplished, and now it looks like it's still continuing to show some strength. So
we're just hitting that fair value gap there now on the dollar index. We'll see how that, if it breaks higher, and this is probably around 50% of that move. That's where it started. Exactly on 50%. So that will be interesting to see if it trades above it or if it trades below it. We're in a fair value gap. This is a 15-minute fair value gap. So how do you use the information of the dollar against indices? Because I can tell you,
because sometimes there's a break in the correlation. So I hold dollar analysis loosely myself, because there's times it works perfect as far as it'll be negatively correlated, and then there's times where they're positively correlated, and then you just have to decide, what are you going to do with that information? And I think you have to ask yourself, what is it telling you? So if dollar is strengthening and you're seeing the ES or NQ strengthening as well, in that environment, they should be weakening. And if they're not, then that really shows strength in the index. Because if the dollar is strengthening, in a perfect world, we should see the index fall when they're negatively correlated. And so risk on, risk off scenario. But like, for instance, on this, go to a 1-minute chart on your, can you switch to the MNQ or the Nasdaq? Yeah, let's zoom in there so you can, all your fans can see the chart nice and. So we've gone from, for the weekly range, we came up into premium, and now we're starting to reject. We looked at dollar's looking like it's strengthening.
let me just put that back on actually. Oh, we got it on in there. We got on there. That's right.
Actually, right. Let's change the settings in there and align the numbers to the left.
Clever man.
Hey, Rafael. Good to see you.
All right. So we're at the 50%. Is that right? Is that you got?
So yeah, we're coming off of the 50%.
So
let's drill down to a 1-minute chart for a minute.
Would you, let's say you wanted to short this.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Would you wait for this fair value could be triggered, or would you start from the 50?
No, I would be looking to short possibly now just recognizing I might still be too early. The market might want to do one more push. You don't know, right? This kind of goes back to even your system of repositioning. You could get in now, and if you still are really strong on your bias that it's going to still be a bearish Friday, it might do one more push into that fair value gap and then come down. So that could be a place potentially for repositioning. But see, on a 1 minute chart, if you look what's happened, this is like almost classic 2022 ICT. We've gone from, in the weekly range, we came all the way up from discount up to fair value, poked its head above it, and then on my 1 minute chart, you can see what do we have? This high taken out. We failed to make a higher high. We have a displacement candle, breaking structure, fair value gap there, and what's price doing? It's dropping.
Nice.
Now, where's it going? Maybe that 20, 30% that you have.
Well, the first target here would be sell side below here, which is also fair value gaps on these.
Yeah, all those inefficiencies need to be rebalanced as far as I'm concerned.
So this is interesting because if I remember correctly from 2022, the what's the word? The high, the equilibrium and the discount and premium normally comes from the daily, but we've gone weekly here. Right. Is that because of the whole week, or?
We drew that out initially just so we could get our 20 and 30% retracements respective to the week, the current.
So that is on the other. What do you call it?
The TGIF.
TGIF.
Yeah.
Okay.
ICT says it works more times than it doesn't. So you read into that what you want, but it's interesting with what we're looking at target wise. If you look at that 20 and 30% retracement on your chart, I mean, you have congestion there where price built up before it made a run up to the 50%.
But even if you take, let's say you took this fair value gap as entry, you've already done 38 pips.
Yeah, and so that's, if you're doing a mini, that's $20 a point.
Wow.
Or you could do a micro, which is $2 a point. If you're trading futures, obviously if you're trading a CFD, you can make it any value you want, almost.
David, can we get a little backstory on the guy next to you?
Oh, jeez.
When did he start and how long did it take him to be what? What's the question? I'm guessing profitable.
I know what you're asking. I'll give it to you in 30 seconds or less. So I've been trading for 6 years. I came across ICT a little over 2 years ago, and I have just gone from failing to break even to starting to become profitable, where I passed 2 prop firm evaluations. So I'm in 2 funded accounts, but I have not made any withdrawals from there. So I've just started on the path of 2 funded accounts, but that's the short version.
Thanks all there. David, there you go. Rafa's in the house. Maria, I missed the first half of the totally forgot this team up. What's happening? You haven't missed a lot, to be honest. We started about 10:15, so you're here with us. I'm also waiting for shorts, but feeling like there might be another push higher, close to another daily high that hasn't been taken yet. Let's have a look at this actually. Let's jump in and put the market sessions in.
And while you're doing that, I just want to note that the current price action, we had a gap down yesterday on the ES and NQ, and currently price has fully filled in that gap down. So if price was going to go lower, this is a pretty decent place since it addressed the gap from yesterday.
And look at things happening here where we touched that fair value gap. Previous daily high has been broken. So Asia and London highs been formed. Nice little targets below. If we weren't chatting too much, I would have probably shorted this. Let's see. This is done already 7 pips. We are looking for 10 pips, me personally. So yeah, I would have to see another push up. I'm with Maria here. I'm waiting for another break of the daily. I started 3 years ago and just turned profitable a few weeks ago. Finally. Amazing, David.
Yeah, fantastic.
Well done. That's awesome, Walt. Congrats, says Sean. How are we doing on the likes, guys? 31. Come on. We have the big Chromebook trader in here. We can do better than that. And also, you're going to get into a little bit of a treat, because if we do get into an entry, Ragnar today is going to be Walt. So look forward to that.
I'll have hair finally.
It will be a helmet. Did he have hair? I think he has hair.
Well, he's got a great beard. Great beard.
That's true. So let's see. Let's go a bit over 5 minutes here and see what's happening. Where's the Asian range? I was explaining this over coffee to Walt. What I'm finding difficult in New York, like situations like this with repositioning, I would definitely get involved. But I've only got until 5 o'clock really, where that volume is still there and then everything crashes down. So to be able to get out of a position, I would have to wait for the next day of trading. And since it's Friday, I would have to wait over the weekend. And then you get into a bit of swap pricing and all that. So I have to be very picky to be able to get in and out in trades. How do you deal with that?
I'm sorry, I was looking at the chart so deeply, I didn't hear a word you just said.
I'm just saying, how do you, hi Martin, how do you deal with just being able to trade in New York? Do you hold over the weekend?
Oh, no. So no.
No.
That's the easy answer. For 2 reasons. The one prop firm I trade with, all trades have to be closed before 4:59 p.m. Eastern time. And then the other one, I'm able to keep them open, but I don't do it over the weekend.
All right. So there you go. He's a bit...
I want to enjoy my weekend.
Yeah. There's definitely an impact on the weekend if you've got trades on there. Shorts are good, says Yasin. If they make you money, they're very good. Vincent, hi Walt.
Yeah, Vincent, my man. He's in our Discord group. Good to see you.
Brilliant. What a handsome pair of traders. I would say the handsome is over there. We're still...
Guys, I can see myself.
We are above the New York kill zone, by the way. And New York kill zone, obviously 7 o'clock till 9:55, so pre-silver bullet time. Let me just add the silver bullet. We've got 10 minutes. Someone said yesterday, Martin in here, he's one of he's done the membership of ICT.
He's a charter member?
Yeah, since 2016.
Wow.
So he has a lot of knowledge, and he was telling me about the volatility in indices around 1050 to 1110.
Yep.
And I believe he will correct me here, but I think he said 910? No.
950.
950 to 1050 to 1010.
Those are key macro times that ICT talks
That's
about.
the one, yeah. Yep. So we are in one now, the 1050 one. So we'll see how that reacts on the S&P. Richard is in the house as well. He's a fellow Vanguard. Welcome. Guys, this is your opportunity. And by the way, I used to tune in on Walt's lives from Greece, and I have been missing his lives, and we have him here. So if you have been missing Walt live, this is your opportunity to ask him questions. And he has a beautiful Discord community, which he runs. All ICT, Silver Bullet, all the stuff he does as well. So if you're interested in that, I'm sure Walt will be happy to send you a link. I think you do the whole process of a few questions.
Yeah, and well, actually, technically our group is closed right now.
Oh, it's closed.
But
I'm sorry.
Because now that you mentioned it, this might be a great opportunity to open it back up for a quick 24, 48 hours. So if anyone wants to come in.
There you heard it. You're getting a bonus from having Walt here. Yeah. So,
but I'm going to encourage you guys. You probably should check out Giannis's Discord.
I think a lot of them, I recognize a lot of names in here. Yeah. So aren't they very imaginative with their names?
They are.
There's some great names. I love the guy, the Flippin' Fox.
That's great.
He's not in today, but I love that name. Are you looking to trade TGIF today? You see, he's an ICT, he knows his stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at right now.
You missed it, but look at me, Martin. I'm going to talk about TGI. I keep on thinking of burgers and TGI Fridays.
The restaurant,
Yeah. So we have failed to get into that liquidity draw. We're having a bit of pushback now into that fair value gap. Well, like Walt discussed earlier, we started on that 50%, and then we broke lower in classic 2022 bearish breaks, where they go down, fill fair value gaps, take liquidity, and we're running into, we've done already from the first fair value gap 43 pips. I only talk in pips, so you have to tell me what that is in handles. Points, okay.
Or handles and points are interchangeable. 78 points, 78 handles.
So this wouldn't be 44 handles.
That'd be 43 points or 43 handles. Handles and points are the same thing.
But pips is, a handle has 4 pips. Just to confuse matters.
Ticks. When it comes to futures, they're called ticks. Four ticks per point.
No entry yet. I can't see an entry from Walt. And I definitely can't see an entry from me yet. So we are waiting. I would have liked to shorted the S&P, but it is coming back up. So,
but look at dollar strengthening. So, and I'm on a 15-second chart right now, and it's responding off of a breaker inside of a fair value gap. I like that.
Aggressively. That macro news on 1050 is plain true here. I haven't put the dailies on here, so ignore these lines. We need to. God, is the pound dollar's back in 124? What's going on? There's so much selling. Look at that.
Yep.
Right, so S&P. What is my play?
Man, that NQ is dropping.
Nice, it's done already. Let's go with handles since we're in the honor of the. Ooh, okay. Okay.
Go down, baby.
53. No, that is 51 handles. Is that right?
Yep.
Look at me talking handles.
Handles, you got it.
That's a big move. It has just missed to create equal lows. What's that looking like on the S&P? A bit of a rejection there above the highs. We just need to be a bit patient. It's always, Fridays are always a bit volatile. I find my experience on Fridays is that there's normally a continuation of what the week has brought. So let's say we've had, if you go on a weekly candle, so for instance, if we look at this big red candle, what's the chances of that becoming green today? I think it would surprise a lot of people. It would, wouldn't it? Even though it's like a hammer to the upside, if you want, with the red body. I would be very brave, in my mind, taking long positions on that candle.
Yes.
Which is weak and it's Friday. Because positions the only reversal that's going to happen on the candle is profit taking because it's Friday.
Right.
So is that profit taking going to be enough to change the characteristics of the weekly candle? That's what I'm questioning.
Yeah. And these are good questions. Don't.
Okay, we did put the previous daily highs. Oh, wait, S&P, that's right. So bring it to a day, we've had 3 red candles, so it can easily retrace up into this fair value gap. It won't change the characteristics of the big weak candle though.
No.
How's the Nas doing? Oh, wait, so we did... Let me just check that before I say something. So we did retrace to the 30s?
Not yet.
Not yet, no. No, we're here, sorry. I'm jumping ahead. So would you hold this until the 30s?
At least the 30s, yeah. Somewhere between the 30s and 20s, I'd start to pay attention. But I like to look at the 4-hour charts as well. And if I look at the 20 level, the previous 4-hour candle, that liquidity beneath there, if it makes it all the way to 20% retracement, it'd be nice for it to just take out that 4-hour candle's low, the previous 4-hour candle's low.
Am I right to say that you're in a position?
I am.
Hey.
I'm short NQ.
So we'll see how that plays out.
Yep.
I wish I could bring your screen out. So screen up.
Yeah.
But we're gonna have to imagine through my eyes what
That's
I'm
right.
saying.
Well,
Is that handles is showing there?
It's points. Yeah, handles are points. So it's up 7.
So we're already doing 7
Yeah.
handles. Coming from the UK, I find it really hard to say handles.
Yeah.
I'm so used to pips.
And I'm used to points.
Yeah.
So
So
I know
so
a
we're
handle
screwed.
is a point. So it's all the same, but it's all different.
All right, so let's look at this. This is interesting because the Nas is selling off, but S&P is quite slower to react. We're still selling off though. We've only done, what is this? I say only, yeah, we've only done nine pips. Okay, handles. So far. What do we think? Should I start trading Nas? I mean, this looks so nice.
Well, when you trade currencies, you trade the pound, and that's more volatile than the euro. So,
I mean, 70 pip move within, what have we done? Half an hour, pretty much. We've been live.
it's moving.
It's so interesting because my instinct here.
Look at it go. Come on, let's push. I want that.
We're on 13 here.
Let's go down.
You need your magnet, don't you?
I do. I need a magnet. Where's a magnet?
Let me add your magnet.
Thank you.
Let me find it. You would know where it is, actually. Let's see.
Just type it in. Isn't there a search there?
Whilst we find the magnet, NQs continues, yes, but won't match price with Ninja and other platforms to each their own. Oh wait, you're discussing about something there.
Oh yeah.
There's a big conversation happening.
Yeah, we're sorry. We're ignoring the chat window. Didn't mean to do that.
They should be moving the same, but there's some reason they're not. I mean, pound U and not DXY. Pound and DXY, the normal thing that they would be moving in opposite directions. So when dollar is going higher, the pound would be selling off. Wow, look at that move. 32 handles.
Yeah.
I'm good luck here now.
You are. We should trade together more often.
We'll be millionaires in no time.
It's great.
So let's find our magnet.
But see, at 30, I think I might have to take it off because I don't want to be greedy. I'm going to do the smart thing. I'm going to follow my system. I'm going to go to 5-minute chart. I want to see it rebalanced completely. And if it responds off an order block, then I'll just take my profits there.
So you're saying that you're going to be greedy?
No, I'm going to follow my plan.
Got ya.
If I was greedy, I'd want it to go to 20. I'd require 20, and I'm not requiring 20.
He's doing the proper thing, right? I can't find your magnet. But to be honest,
It's okay.
since we're moving, we probably don't need the magnet, right? We are the magnet.
Maybe.
This community is the magnet. I knew you were there.
Yeah, Crypto Queen, definitely. NQ is moving a lot more.
What trade are you in? I am not in. I am not in. It's interesting because for me personally, I can't get involved now. Unless I was getting involved here, I can't get involved in here. Why? Because if I want to reposition this, I have to, I'm looking for 10 pips. So I'm already 10 pips in a move, so I can't short this. Now the only thing that I can wait for here is if S&P sells off aggressively, then I can get the bounce back. But we're already in premium, so what's the 1 minute look like? NAS is filled up the fair value gap here. This looks like an OTE entry, and not to scare you.
No.
But Walt, he's got a system that he's following, so anything that we say, I say, or you guys say, won't affect him.
Yeah. Trade your system.
Exactly. So we're in, look at that, 79% in that area. So it's interesting how, you know, I love Fibonacci numbers and retracements, and pretty much the OT, if you have seen the video on Silver Bullet, I talk about, the OT video, I talk about Fibonacci numbers and how the 61A, oh, here's the reaction.
Yeah, it's springing.
Again, would I get involved in this? If it was, I could easily get involved in the NAS. That's 20 pips. What? Okay, I might be starting trading NAS here.
Yeah, it moves. It moves. Interesting too, though. Just to point out, like I like breakers, and yeah, we're going up, but we're going into what might be a bearish breaker. So
yeah, I can see that.
It's definitely a flip of a coin. That's why I just got to live with my trade decision. If I get stopped out, it's okay.
Yeah. So where would I get involved if I did? Look at this, because when I start getting into a trade, I always look at the risk. That's my first thing. So let's say I want to trade this long. It's highly likely that we could take the lows here of sell side liquidity. So this push down is 28 pips. So for me to be able to trade that, I would have to trade very small size. But the NAS moves quickly, so I can trade small size. I don't know what I'm allowed to trade. What is the smallest value? But I do like the spreads that I get with DarwinX. It's pretty much nothing.
On NQ, it's nothing?
NQ
or S4?
NDX, is that the one?
Yeah.
US Tech, yeah, 7.
That's not bad.
What's on yours?
Well, on the other prop firm, it's 14.
Yeah, that's what I'm used to as well.
Yeah,
but
so that's good.
For some reason, currencies are higher, which is bizarre. Like the pound dollar is 10, roughly. Let's see, if I throw that on there. Ooh. I'm not used to that movement.
Yeah.
And you would have to be calming it down. I would have to trade this on like a 5 minute. These 1 minutes move too fast. Interesting. We're just holding at that fair value gap now. So if it's going to continue lower, I think this is the area where it's going to be.
I'd like it to hold. That'd be nice.
Reacting.
Yeah. But see, I took that entry on a 15-second chart.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow. Are you? So you didn't take profit because of yours. So would you close it break even if it went against you?
No. I'm gonna hold. I'm using enough risk that I'm okay with getting stopped out. It's low risk. So, and then not to mention if I look at it on the 5 minute, wrong second. That's the second chart. Sorry. If this breaker is gonna hold, there's no sense in me.
Let me just put that on so I can show you what he's talking about. We're on the NAS and he's on a 15.
5 minute.
5. So when he talks about the breaker, he's talking about this intermediate low here, this high breaking below, right?
Right. But so, and specifically this bearish candle here, because this is the lowest candle. There's the high to the left is lower than the high to the right. So this is right there. So that candle right there, I want price. It can dig into that, but I want this price to hold.
Okay.
If that PD array is going to hold, then I'm probably going to be okay. Price is going to make another run for at least that 30% retracement of that weekly range.
So would you use the 50% of this?
I'm going to use the whole thing.
The whole thing. Okay.
My stop is at the top of that breaker.
So he's talking about this candle here.
Correct.
If price, where'd you get in roughly?
I got in on the 5 minute chart. You're still on the 5, right? As far as price action, I got in at the top of that candle right there.
Just here?
Yep. Our prices aren't going to be the same.
Yeah.
But that's the location.
So something like that.
Yep. That's where I got in. And
so just to explain what Walt was saying there, Walt is using these two candles as the breaker. So if price trades all the way, even to the highs of this, he will still hold it, and your stop is somewhere up there above to continue lower. But if that changes, then he would be out.
And I know, unfortunately, your audience can't see this, but for your sake, on the 15-second chart, this is basically that breaker. Extended it over, and as price came back up into it, also fair value gap, just rebalancing that, I watched it respond. So as it was coming down, now I got in a little late, but I like the response. So I didn't need the best entry.
S&P is also coming down now.
Yeah. And what's our friend the dollar doing? Anything interesting? Oh yeah.
It's just bounced heavily. It's chasing that 105s now. We've got liquidity above. I don't want to open the pound dollar. I'm too scared. Look at that. 104. The low of that candle is 124752. Crazy.
Hey James, what's going on, my man? Good to see you. Again, a few names I recognize.
Hello. Oh, James Russell you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hi, James. Result does not roll over to Monday. Right now, I'm telling you. Hi, Zord. Anyone on the gold trade? I am not looking at gold at the moment. Pound USD is at a good sell. I mean, pound USD is interesting. Look at this. We took out Asia and London kill zones, created the high, and now we're selling off, chasing the lows of the week actually. 124671. What day was that? 7th. Yeah. Big is struggling. Pound is struggling heavily. S&P at this moment of time, My only trade that I'm interested in is if, and we have to look at time, if the S&P drops into equilibrium or even at the bottom side of this fair value gap, a 10 pip move, that will be quite an ask on a Friday. Nas is pushing back up. I notice you have two color charts there. You've got blue and white, and you've also got red and...
I do that so that right away when I'm looking at this chart, I know what I'm looking at. So this is my dollar, and then this is my three, got NQ, ES, and the Dow, so that I can see any divergence. And this way I don't get lost. I know that this chart is specific.
I do like this setup actually.
Yeah, and then when I want to go to my actual focus chart.
So we're above...
Do you want me to go back to the other one?
Are you still in that?
The trade?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you fix it and you don't look at it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Just goes and done. Are we trading Darwin Zero? Guys, Darwin Zero, I was worried that their trades weren't going in, but I can't wait. I'm a bit, I'm going to back myself that we're going to actually be quite high up on that pool of traders. We have to. We believe in ourselves. So if I bring the DarwinX, Zero is free, right? Zero is a demo account. I've actually done the other thing where you put $1,000, you trade it as your own profits, and it's starting to track your performance. This needs a minimum of 1 month, and then it creates what's called a Darwin, which is an index of your trading. And as you can see here, our return so far is 1.08 with a maximum draw of 0.17. I mean, if that continued for a month in this form, we would be in the top 2 traders in the firm. So we're going to be trying, that's why I'm being very careful with entries on the S&P, because I do want to have the best track record I get. Now, if you go to Darwinia, which is what they call the world of DarwinX, both Darwin Zero and Darwin Classic, which is funded account live, get listed on here. The only difference is if you're on Darwin Zero, you have to pay a monthly fee of $38 to be able to do this and track your performance. If you have the $1,000 in there and it's your own fund, then you get that for free. So as we can see, the best trader in here, in silver, which is the first pool, is returning 6% per month. In the 5 months, he's returned 16%. Guys, that's what we're talking about. Small, incremental. If I ask you, all of you in here, can you return 1% a month? You'll be like, are you joking? I can easily do that. We always aim for like 15, 20%. But look at the drawdown, just 6%. So an excellent trader. Now, what's the worst case scenario? Who's the worst trader who's got funded? And this is, they've had 44,000 people go through this. And the CEO of the company was saying, the people that are successful are returning on average 20% per year. That's not a lot, guys. That's about 1% a month. 1, 2, 3%, depending on the performance. But, so 0000, first funded account here, 221th trader. He's returned in 1 month 0.88. So for this month, technically, I am above this one. I'm here with 1 trade. I am the 221th trader. Now, they do need to see consistency over time, so I would have to put 30 trades in there. But look at the drawdowns. He's got 2%, 9%, 6%, no one. The quality of trading here is really good.
Yeah.
And this is 200 traders. This guy has got funded with a currently 0.13 month, but in the last 5 months he's returned 11%. Not crazy numbers. So if you want to get into, okay, the downside of this, because I know a lot of you will be like, how much do they pay me? In silver and all the funded accounts, you only get 15%, which sounds tiny for an account like this. But the good thing about this is two things. One, you get a registered track record. So I can go on my trading account. Where am I? Strategy analysis. I can go on my trading account, and this will be a registered track record, which I can literally go to any bank or hedge fund and say, this is my registered performance. And if you reach, and let's go to the Hall of Fame for a second. I'm not in there, so it doesn't show it yet. If we go to Darwinia Gold, this person here has got 500,000 allocation, but it doesn't stop there, because if you go into the actual person, to remember how I do that, he gets access to the investors. So people, here, market. So the number one of gold, who's THA, he's currently been funded by investors by 34 million.
Ooh.
That's real money from investors. Are you good with maths? What's 15% of that?
Let's just go with 10. Just make it easy. 10% of 30.
Yeah. So $300. $300,000.
300, yeah. Over $300,000. So then I put another 5% on that. That's $450,000.
That's crazy.
That's fantastic.
On a record of 85. So even less than the other guys. Now that people have, they trust him because you can see his record. I don't know how to do this, but so you're a tradable asset when you have shown your performance. So you can go here, investors can trade, so they invest in you. Where are we? I'm going to DarwinX 2, absolutely worth it. How long did your trades take to register? We did that trade yesterday. So literally when the day closes, it starts tracking your performance. I did see someone on YouTube say that experience acquired, I don't know what that means. Natural days since first trade. I think you have to, it looks like you start filling this, so I'm guessing 31 days. But someone said they got funded after 2 weeks. So I'm not sure if they look at your record and then you go higher. Yanis, you should do great to Darwin 0. I see you managing millions of dollars in a few months. Let's put that out there.
That's good stuff to put out there, by the way.
Yeah,
keep putting that out there.
For all of us. It's really just good for a track record and using it with your own investors. Is the track record a valid audit for the banks? Interesting enough, I was listening to another trader's interview who traded for Goldman Sachs, and he said that every bank, and we were discussing this earlier with coffee, have a prop side to it. Where if you're, I don't know if our age would play a role here, because they're looking for young talent, unfortunately. So if you're within the 27 and below, and you show interest that you can trade currencies or indices, this might be, you take your track record and you say, here's my email, can I get an interview? And funny enough, a lot of people do, because they love money and they love good performance. If you can perform with 1 to 2% a month with a small maximum drawdown, you're gonna outperform the S&P massively. You're gonna outperform a lot of hedge funds. So of course they would give you a job. If you can return 20% a year, and you're dealing with millions, no brainer.
Everyone's happy.
Yeah. Is the track record a valid on? And yeah, we said that. It took him 8 years to build, then first 5 years expect nothing. You can upload your previous trade record. You can import your previous trading history into it. Yes, you can. Yeah. I think it's MT4 though. You need to have MT4 to upload it. And this is key, guys. I know it sounds like Julius is saying, look, this is such a long time. He's been doing that 8 years. If you gave me 34 million in 8 years, I would take it.
Yeah,
I would
that's a good investment.
It's not bad. It's like doing a university plus a master's and maybe some work experience, and that's it. And you get 34 million. So I'm sidetracking here. Let me see where we are.
No, but that's a good conversation point there, though. I mean, imagine if you want to go be a profession as a dentist, or a chiropractor. How many years is that going to take you? And then you have to build the business on top of it. You have the school debt. I think this is a pretty good trade-off.
I think, here's the thing. Would you recommend trading to your kids?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Because you have 2 kids, right?
Yep.
Do they trade?
No.
No.
Not yet. That's one of my goals is I have to perfect this myself so that I can provide them a more simplistic, hopefully, approach that will give them an edge over time.
Are they itchy to get involved?
I don't think so.
No. I'm not interested in working in a bank. LLC investments from those big investors is my goal. Well, here's the thing. I think now with, what do they call it? In Europe, they call it smart working, where you're working from home.
Remote work here.
Remote working.
Yeah.
The banks don't expect you to go and tap in. They're just going to give you the account funds, and they're going to be like, look, let's have a meeting every month and look at your performance.
Yeah.
Because we can trade from anywhere now. All you need is good internet. So don't see it as you're going to go suited to a bank and you're going to have to clock in and clock out every day. It might be something that you want to do, or they require, I don't know, maybe once a year or twice a year. But there might be opportunities that you can do from home instead of going in there. Let's look at that NAS, because I see...
Yeah, it's pulling back on me. I'm in drawdown.
It's peeling back. So you're in that area there, aren't you?
Yep, so it delivered just over 30 points, and I let it come back on me. But like I said, I'm okay with that, because I'm learning to, what's been just as frustrating is having a trade idea and watching it play out, but because of my desire to not have any pain in a trade, move my stop too early, get stopped out, and then watch it go exactly where I want. I think that's almost a worse pain, because it was fear that caused me to move.
I agree. I think this is a perfect example. How can you track your historical performance if you keep changing things? It's impossible. Yeah. How do you create alpha? Or alpha means, can you go to someone who's looking at your trading performance, and that's what DarwinX does automatically, and say, this is my performance? Because the investor will say, Walt just moved his stop by 30 pips or handles. Next day he moved it 15. The other day he didn't move it, it got stopped out. So all these three scenarios, it's impossible to create alpha.
No, yeah.
But if you have, like we have the idea now, we got in here, we moved into profit for 30, was it?
It was like 32 points. I think it was
32 points.
Well, actually we can calculate it. What did it get to?
We can't predict if Walt is going to close at 38, 32, 39. If you want to create statistics, you can't be moving profits and stop loss.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do it all the time. Maybe sometimes you've seen something that you want to close, but if you're actually tracking yourself, then you have to do stop loss fixed.
The only other observation I have in this trade, though, and this is something that I've been watching in my trading, is there's times where I've traded with a static stop loss, just a number, whether it's 5 points, 20 points. And what I've found also that can bite me, because if I'm not taking in consideration the actual price action, price structure, like this stop loss still looks like, well, I could easily get stopped out, and I may. But if this price structure is still ultimately bearish and it doesn't need to take any more liquidity, the smarter stop loss is up here. Now, I'm not going to move it right now because I didn't put it there. I based it on this breaker that I was hoping was going to hold. It may or may not, but I mentioned that as just a point of, some people, they want to just trade always with a 20-point stop loss. That's fine.
And just to make you understand what Walt is talking about, his stop is around here, very close to being stopped out, but he's saying that he thinks this is the better stop. But that is another 30 pips.
Yeah, because I've been stopped out so many times by having a tight stop. Because if I'm trading based on price action and the structure, right? So if I want to be right more than I'm wrong, then I should have my stop loss in a place where that price structure is gonna, if I had my stop up there, if I get stopped out there, well then clearly I was wrong. It has more liquidity once to go. But my trade idea was that liquidity's already been taken. And then it gave me a breaker structure. And even inside of this breaker, this candle technically, the way ICT teaches it, like this whole thing can act as the breaker. So if I really wanted to play it more accurately and more systematic, my stop loss should at least be above the swing high of the breaker leg.
So if you think that stop is a mistake, would you move it?
I'm not going to right now, just because I'd rather get stopped out and I'd rather practice dealing with the loss of just recognizing this is how I started out the trade, and it's better to just take the loss.
Yeah. So what was saying there is that these two candles are the breaker candles. So one stop makes sense that it's there because obviously if this is a liquidity draw up here above the highs of this, if it breaks the higher, then it's kind of it's taking liquidity of this area. So maybe the structure has changed. But he's also saying that this stop here might have been better with his style of trading. Just to give, and that's why I came up with the repositioning, because I don't know which one is right.
No.
It's I'm getting less profit, but at least I can test it. I can test, is this the stop? Is this the stop? And then I can reposition backwards. But obviously, if you get it wrong on the full direction, it doesn't give you reposition, then you're in bad trouble.
Yeah. And even if I get stopped out on this and price in fact takes, if it goes higher and digs into more buy side liquidity, then I'll still look for one more opportunity to get into a sell.
Well, what I'm interested in this, if I am going to trade it, look at that 79 there. It's exactly in that fair value gap.
Yeah,
so I might be interested in this. I don't know.
Don't let me influence you. You were
No.
You were feeling bullish on this.
I am liking because what I said is we're still in premium, so I can't be bullish until this comes back to equilibrium. Equilibrium, if we take the daily, equilibrium is, let me just put it in. We've got the high there.
Hearing you discuss your trades is just right on. Cool. Glad you're enjoying that.
Fib retracement, and horizontal array. Right, so go away.
I hear my stomach. I didn't eat breakfast. It's going crazy.
All right, so that's equilibrium. So if I go on 15, for me to get interest, that's the 50% of the fair value. I do want to see that spikeness to the upside. And that's another thing. Look at these. Look how quick the pip moves on the NAS compared to the pound dollar. It's like.
It's quick, man.
Wow.
It can be exciting for sure.
Let's see if it takes the highs here and it trades close to the 15,370s. Might be a nice little interesting area. The other thing we need to consider, if trading works, looks like it's back. Go to NAS. It did tap into that 79. Exactly on the fair value gap. Let's look at the picture. I need to tune my eyes to this. So wait, we haven't taken previous daily high yet. Sorry, my charts look a bit messy. Just clean it up a little bit. We haven't taken previous daily high yet.
ES and YM have though. So you've got a little divergence going on. Dow showing a little bit more strength, taking out its previous day high. Same with ES, but not NQ.
Interesting.
Could be lagging. Maybe it's going to play catch up.
Yeah, we can see that on the S&P here. It's pushing higher though, which means my guess is that pound dollar, is the dollar dropping? A little bit.
Yes.
Look at that, dollar's just found that fair value up there. That's the 79% as well, for sure. S&P, we're just trading back into that fair value. I think I'm gonna wait for this. There's a lot of volume in these candles. The big candles. I'll be waiting. I want to see it hitting higher.
Well, you know, it's interesting with your desire there. If you flip it, if you do this, the 20 to 30% retracement of the entire weekly range, so I just put it in as 80 and 70, that's the 20, 30, it would fill in that
the fair value gap
there, and it would actually, it would close that in. So you could absolutely be right. Because right now we're just at fair value based on the weekly price range. We're at 50%. It either wants to go lower or go higher.
I would be more comfortable waiting now after this candle. Considering the daily and the weekly, sorry, we've got a bearish week overall. It is pinning to the upside. But overall the week has been bearish, so I would not be comfortable trading it up into the 70 and 80 because we're just at premium.
Yeah.
But I can see, like, obviously there's huge interest. Think of people, and we were discussing this yesterday, think of people who are trailing the stops here. If I remove everything. Let's say you've been shorting the NQ and you've shorted it from here, you're a swing trader. Go away. You've been trailing your stops above these swings. Then you had a big push up, push down, and an even more big push to the downside here. So how many people are willing to let go of 100 handles to put their stop here? I think not many. So this area here of stop hunting looks quite interesting. Above the 15400s. We do get the reaction now though, let's see. It's curling in. Taking out the highs here. Fair value gap there. Also, buy side above that. We're trading down from an OTE entry. Who we got? Lost stream. Are we off? We look okay. My internet is a bit poor. YM has another daily high that it hasn't taken yet at 34,710.
This one.
And it is also a fair value gap. Vincent, I joined, but I can't seem to find it.
Oh, Crypto Queen's trying to find the Discord group. She's been in it before. Just DM me on the, and I'll send you the link. But like I said, after I'll open it up and I'll pass it on to Giannis, and he can, if he wants to make that available, he can. We'll maybe open it.
Well, I have heard you say it can go open for 24 hours. So anyone who wants it and also has my Discord, let me know and I'll drop it in. Need to hold or NQ will take previous daily high, in my opinion. Well, we do have this reaction now from the OTE. What is going on with my charts today? There we go. If we change that to ICT OT entry, it's exactly where it's reacting. It's already done. I would have been done now. 10 pips there. Oh well.
Yeah.
I'm being very safe. And the interesting thing is, the only reason I wouldn't take that is because one, I've never traded the NAS, and this bad boy to previous day is 26 pips. I can't take that risk.
Yeah.
If I want to reposition, I would rather reposition from the highs and further up. But like with anything, guys, it's a learning curve. When you trade a new asset, you need to understand how it moves. We need to start reading the book of the NAS. Why NQ over ES today, Walt? I'm still not 100% with the sick sister concept.
Yeah, I can't help you there. The Six Sister thing went right over my head, because to me it's I haven't figured out when to apply it. So I wish I could provide some value there, but I can't. But as a whole, I'm liking NQ just for the same reason that you're noting, is it moves. It moves a lot more than ES.
What's with the six sister?
It's a little bit like a SMT divergence concept that if, like right now we have YM and ES that have taken out the previous day's high, but NQ hasn't. So it's the lagger, it's the sixth sister, but it should catch up. But I don't know when to apply it because there's times when that weakness in NQ is showing that no, we're actually going down. The other markets just took some more liquidity before it happened. So I can't add value there. I wish I could. So if anyone understands, by all means.
Yeah.
But please.
Any experience with six sisters? It's like,
yep.
Look at that fair value gap reaction. Equal highs there on the 1 minute, and then it's pushing below the 75. Ali, you still trade the Fivers bootcamp? Yes, I do. I will be making a video maybe tomorrow on that. TFT also, yes. The NAS likes to zigzag big movements. I'm not a fan. Well, here's the thing about NAS. One of my mentors, the scruffy trader, he said to me back then, it's like, stay away from the NAS because it moves like ridiculous. But if you're trying to understand price action and money manipulation, it doesn't get better than this. Because if you want to be in and out, you need something that moves a lot because you're trying to predict price. Now, if you don't care about price action and you're trading, let's say, on the 1 hour, and you're more like a day trader with 4 or 5 hours, it makes sense to go to something smoother, like the S&P or the FTSE. I can't say the DAX because the DAX is a little bit like the NAS. But it all depends on what your style of trading is. Now, if we're trying to technically we're scalping. I am for 10 pips.
Points, yeah.
Yeah, so yours is a bit more of a day trade where it's a bit of a bigger move. Yeah. So for scalping, I think NAS is a great asset. What I do need to be very careful with when I'm trading it, it's my risk. I need to figure out, because we traded 0.1, that would be $10 per pip. That's a bit too big for the NAS. Especially because it moves 200 pips per day. So that's huge compared to 40 pips on the S&P. So I'm trying to get 1 out of 4 from the movement of the S&P, whereas, I don't know what the maths is that, but 40 out of 200, that's a little bit more. So you can get it easier, but you can get caught very easy as well.
It's a fifth of it.
A fifth, there you go. So, yeah.
But like that trade I was in earlier, like your trading style, you would have taken your 10 points.
Yeah.
It delivered more. But I was doing it based on a different profit model. So even that's interesting, right? Because people can be profitable and then others may not be profitable trading the exact same system because their targets are different. What they're looking for is different.
But here's the thing, right? Let's take the scenario, me being selfish again here, using Walt's example of where he was thinking about his stops. His entry was down here. So if he had repositioned at where he said his stops would be, his first reposition would be here. So if he broke his position into 4, his next reposition would be up on the previous daily highs. So now your average position of these 3 would be roughly somewhere here.
Yeah. Except I wouldn't take that last reposition because my trade idea is that breaker needs to hold. If not, it's not a true breaker. So
you would have to be within this level here. So then you would be lower. I don't know where you would decide to put it, but if this was your hard stop, you could try and reposition that all the way down here. That's one concept of being able to manage risk. The other concept is like Walt just did, kill the trade. When an opportunity represents itself, you're back in.
Yeah.
And look at that.
So if my stop would have been in a more favorable spot, I'd still be in the trade.
Woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Yeah. I'm okay with it.
I know.
Completely okay.
That's the thing. When we always look at our previous history, I always do the same as well. I'm like, if I had done this, it would be the best trade in the world.
Well, because you always have to take the time to learn something about it. Like, is there something you could have done differently? And I don't know about you. I think stop losses are the bane of most traders because they're too tight. I mean, that's your trading style, right? You don't have tight stops, but they're logically positioned based on price action and the structure that's formulating your trade idea to begin with.
I was listening to, I don't know if do you know Anna FX?
Yeah.
From the Fivers? I was listening to her yesterday. She was talking about losing streaks. And also she was mentioning, those, the tight stops where it goes on and on and on. You get hit and hit and hit and hit. And then you have to come back and do the same trade.
Yeah.
We're insane. What industry does that? It's insane.
But that takes some mental fortitude to just press through.
The 8th and the 10th time and the 12th time. Yeah.
My worst losing streak so far has been 17 losses in a row.
17?
17.
Oh.
But you know why it didn't hurt so bad is because of risk management.
Yeah. And that's a good example. 17 losses in a row. Was the account still healthy?
Yeah, I turned it around.
There we go.
I passed an eval with it, actually.
Absolutely. And that's insane. 17 losses and then you can be profitable.
Just had to make sure I was doing the right things.
All right, guys, let's add some likes on that. We're at 70 likes. Come on, we can do better than that.
123 watching.
I know.
You got to show them some love, guys.
For me, 50 ticks in NQ is the equivalent to 20 ticks on the ES. That's my minimum TP goal, the crypto queen. At DelFX, the high of the breaker was actually the 15,355. 15,355. You mean this one here? Yeah. That's what Walt said as well, is that these two candles are actually the breaker move. With 17 losses, what was the drawdown?
What's the drawdown? I think it was 1,700.
I'm guessing he means percentage.
Oh, I was doing it based on the dollar risk because I was trying to pass a 50K evaluation. And I was allotted a $2,500 drawdown and it got down $1,700. And part of that, guys, just as a point to share my journey on this is, as an ICT student, one thing I realized I was doing is I was constantly trying to do reversals instead of reading what the price action was showing. There was things I was just not seeing because I was in reversal mode the entire time. And
you mean like extension of move and then trying to push it down?
Yeah, I'm always waiting for it to stop and reverse instead of recognizing, wait a minute, this thing actually might continue its bullish run or its bearish run. So that really helped me to recognize that I've oversimplified some of the teaching of ICT, and it's not his fault. It's me and my understanding of just locking onto this one idea, and it's
true. And I think we were discussing this before the live, how crucial it is to become your own trader.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you learn things from ICT, you learn things from other people, but it's all down to what works for you.
That's one of my favorite things about you. I know people are always asking you, and I have asked you just didn't know it. I've asked you in my own head, like, how do you reposition? And I realize we're asking the wrong question. because we're asking how you reposition. I'm not going to reposition like you, even if I start to incorporate something like that. That's experiential. Like, it can't be just taught conceptually, I don't believe.
That's why I hold back from putting a video out there.
I don't think you should.
Because there's so many factors. Maybe I'll do a video on what the framework is.
Yeah, for sure.
So this is repositioning. This is what it does. This is how it decreases risk. These are the dangerous things about it. But if you ask me, should I reposition at 4464?
Yeah.
You know the answer. So it's very hard to explain to someone why I'm doing more harm than good if I tell you where you should reposition.
Yeah.
Because when I'm not there, where would you reposition?
Yeah.
And why?
And you know, guys, this is something too that I want to learn. I'm not proficient at this, but there's a lot of different ways people trade out there. So, but there are some really profitable traders that they don't reposition in the same way that Giannis does. They add to winners. So as price is going in their direction,
Tom Hogard.
They well, not just him, but ICT does it all the time. He has models for adding as price is going to the next draw on liquidity. So he starts to increase his position size as he's already in profits. And so there's that methodology as well. Which one is right? Whichever one works for you.
And also, even as ICT 2022 mentorship, he actually talks about adding when we break below, and then the classic ICT seeking liquidity below to equilibrium and filling up fair value gaps. A lot of the times he will add into those fair value gaps. Right. And I think personally, that is very down to the personality. I look for safety. Someone else might look for more gains.
Yep.
And they're both strengths, but they can also both be weaknesses. Absolutely. Because if I'm overdoing it on safety, I'm not progressing enough. If I'm overdoing it on progressive, I'm being too risky. So it's that balance.
Yeah.
Everything in life is balance. And we are pushing. That's 79. Oh man. Look at that. What have we done? 26 handles. I mean, the push you found earlier.
I was just early to the game.
Yeah. And it's normal when alive, you know.
Yeah.
It's not normal conditions. That's why you see me not taking positions easy today, because I know I'm being affected. 100. That's an 100 handle move. Not bad. And this looks like classic ICT, breaking the lows, filling up fair value gaps, OT.
Yeah.
Who knows? But that does look really nice for a continuation back to equilibrium.
But we're also going into the lunch hour, which generally I do not trade it during the lunch hour. I do like to wait myself. How come? Partly just because of ICT's teachings, what he says for his sons to do. It's like, if I'm gonna put myself in the place of being one of his children, and he's teaching me, and he says, don't trade during lunch, wait till 1:30 to begin to re-engage the market. I figure, as a whole, if he's my mentor, I should heed some of those warnings. Now, granted, there's algorithms that he talks about that runs during lunchtime, and so can it be traded? Absolutely. At some point, for me, I have to start to put my own limitations on myself, or else I will want to trade everything. You know, I mean,
I know what you mean.
The candles are moving. We could trade right now.
Yeah.
If you tried hard enough, you could find a justification to buy right now or sell if you tried hard enough.
Oh my God. I can give you a buy setup right now. It's so interesting, right? Because like you said, we've had a reaction there, pushing back up. This is just a push down into this fair value gap to continue to the previous daily highs. There you go.
There you go.
You find setups every time, but can you manage each entry risk-wise? That's
good call.
The big one, because for me, to take a trade from here, from a premium to go to the previous daily high, I have to deal with a run to the previous daily low. That's 179 handles. I can't do it when I'm looking for 10 pips. So long positions are out of the picture for me.
Yeah. And I still like the short because I like the inefficiency of that green bullish candle that you have there. For it to, because what did it do? When it did that reversal and it has that swing low, it just basically, that's a form of engineering liquidity, right? So this is our people, anyone that did go long, they've trailed their stop up. We have an inefficiency, price is going to rebalance that and take that low out. I'm saying that as, because I'm putting that out in the universe. It is going to do that. Just.
Oh, are you in again?
No.
Oh, I thought
I won't take a trade this time of day.
Yeah, so we're talking about this. That is another 40 handle. You know what? For not having seen the NQ before, I do like the price action.
It's pretty nice, huh?
It's really accurate from what I'm seeing. And also, if you look at that reaction, if you are on the ICT front, 79 there, 79 there. Sometimes price.
Does that qualify as low probability, high resistance trading?
Yeah.
When you can make a case for either side.
I know.
We should just go get some coffee.
It's not efficient. That was gold, Yanis. What you told about that you don't want to get involved against the sell side liquidity. Is it in terms of going long? I think that's what you mean. Yeah, I'm not going against a potential move down to 1.5's 139. It's impossible for me to reposition this. The risk is too much. So here we go. We're tapping into that actually. Let's see this inefficient market, how it reacts to that. Just touched it. It's coming into that fair value gap. I always love seeing the behavior of the candle. So you see where, because these are orders. So someone's selling and someone's filling a buy order. So when you see a big spike, it's almost like having level 2. You can see, like now they're selling, slow movement on the buys. But if you see like a big spike up, that's telling you that that level there had a lot of buy orders. And here we are in the fair value gap now. That inefficiency being filled. Here's a question, since I know you've studied ICT a lot, and maybe Martin is here as well. With order blocks, on this move here, would you classify this as the order block?
On that one, that whole price action is so ugly right there. I don't know that I'd want to mess with that consolidation right there. That's my answer, because it's not as clean. It's not.
Let's go cleaner.
Okay, let's.
What about these two green candles?
That I would look at that as a bearish order block. And
so the highs of this?
The entire thing. Those two up candles, in my view and understanding of ICT's teaching, is those could be acting as an order block. But I think even inside of that, trying to identify all these patterns I think their location is important. So I think it's better to look at order blocks more in the extremes myself. So like if you look at the swing high from up here and identify where the order block was, and then when price came back into it, when it reacted and or the lows. I have not by any means perfected the craft of finding this price action such as order blocks that are inside a range myself.
What do you think of, like for instance here, we have 2 candles upticked, green. Would you then put it on like a 15 to show it as a single candle?
So what I've been doing lately is spending a lot of time on the 1 hour and 4 hour charts. And I like to identify different price action structures based on that and then draw out. So this way I'm making sure I'm not ignoring the higher time frame price action, since that seems to be the bigger driver. And then I can drop down to a 5 minute and then see what it's showing me and then refine it to a 15-second chart for entries. But always keeping in mind that higher time frame. That's what I'm trying to get really systematic about that.
Talking about higher time frame, and I know you day trade, bombarding you with questions here.
Hit me.
What's your higher time frame view? This is a monthly chart on the NAS. Do you include that picture in there, or you don't even bring it in?
I haven't, but I have considered it, especially when it comes to. I think the thing that I've played around with, but I haven't been consistent at this, is the seasonality portion. You know, going back to ICT, because you're going to hear me say his name a lot whenever I speak of trading, just because I've learned so much from him. And he has a video series, like if he could go back and tell himself what he knows now. And that's one of I think it's the second thing he mentions in that YouTube video series, that he would tell his younger self to not ignore the seasonality. Because there's seasonal tendencies of these markets, whether you're an oil trader or index trader, and to be aware of that. So it's like, and we've seen a lot of that play out. There's times, is it going to be perfect every time? Of course not. Nothing is. But generally, there's a rhyme to it that we should expect.
For instance, I don't think I'll be trading August again.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
Just go surfing or play basketball.
Just go surfing, man. Honestly. I don't know about you guys, but I tried to want to disprove Michael and be like, yeah, you could trade August. Last August is when I started my boot camp, and when I eventually passed it. I started August, but I was trading London. And London in August has performed pretty well. New York, for me, pound dollar, I found it really difficult. Hence why we're looking at indices at the time, which is perfect timing because of you coming here. But when you talk about seasonality in big numbers, right? These levels here, like this is the historic data of the NAS, going back from the dinosaur years. The ultimate high of NAS is 16,768. Okay. Now this move here has retraced into a 79 OT retracement.
Would you look at that?
And if we put a fib on that, we're just trading below in that OT level. So is there, how can you use this? Because obviously this is a month, each one of these are months. It takes a long time to,
yes.
And price goes up and down. Could this affect you in terms of bias? That's one question. What does the weekly look like? We have those 3 down tick candles pushing into that now, and daily.
Wait, go back to the weekly for 1 second. So looking at, now granted this was, what's this month that we were running here?
That's from 8th of May,
okay,
all the way up to 12th of June.
Right, so big run, and in this run, it rebalanced that inefficiency there and that inefficiency, and it took out liquidity, these equal highs. And while it took out those inefficiencies, what did it do? It left behind some inefficiencies.
Yeah, absolutely. And where did it trade up to? Okay, not quite, but you can see a nice little area there. Is it going to go and retest that? Questions for bigger picture.
If we could just get ICT on the line.
I know. He might be watching. Who knows? If it was on your platform, he might be watching. I don't think he's happy with my repositioning. But yeah, let's go back down on what is actually happening. Look at that. Push back in. That's a weird action there. Just filled that and push back up again.
Yeah.
Rejections.
Well, and right now we are at lunch. So what's going to happen?
Algorithmically, you mean?
Well, my understanding is ICT says a lot of times what will happen is during lunch, price will reverse. It'll take out liquidity areas.
I mean,
now,
can I
is
put
that
it?
what it's doing? And if that's the case, well, where is it going? If it's reversing, if that's the language we're going to use.
Well, I can see a nice fair value gap right there on the 1 minute, which I guarantee you of this move, it's going to be very close to what we've been talking about, 79. So and Fibonacci retracements make sense to me, because when you have an expansive move, there's always profit taking, and there's always people seeing the same charts. So we're all seeing a retracement of 50%. When you see a retracement of 50%, people say, now we're at equilibrium of this move. Maybe the price is valued. So then you get in. So that's why you have the, almost like the self-fulfilling prophecy of this action.
Well, and the hard thing about Fibonacci's is I'm sure everyone experiences when they first start using them is, and I'm not an expert in this, but where you anchor it, it may be different than where I anchor it. Mm-hmm. There's so many ways to do it. Like one thing I still don't like in the price action though as a whole right now is, I mean, this thing could just go flat the rest of the day. It's a Friday. It's lunchtime. It's pretty nice weather. G20 meeting over the
Algorithms go surfing.
Just let's go play volleyball or go surfing. Absolutely.
The thing is, and I think we're going to close soon because we're already at lunch. We just do go for another 5 minutes. If you have questions, guys, drop them in. It's a shorter session today because I do want to take this man around Lennox. I don't know if you've seen Lennox before.
I haven't.
Yeah, there we go. We'll have a look at this town.
I know.
And what I am looking for though, and I still will be interested, if this lunch period, and we are going to be talking trading, of course, and we are going to have laptops around. So if this price push back into this fair value gap here, to, like you said, to have a liquidity draw above this area, I would be interested for the afternoon end part of the session. Since the NAS moves so quick, we can be in and out.
Yep.
So I can see if I find my opportunity there at this buy side liquidity. Even better, I would love to see a run to the previous daily high during lunchtime, if that ever happens. I don't know. But there we go. We see that 76.4 and that. If there's going to be a hunt for these highs, price will have to aggressively pass this fair value gap at 76.4. That would be my sort of what I'm looking for, is how is price action moving above this area? Is it retracing back down or is it pushing aggressively high? That's what I'll be looking for.
And pull up the dollar real quick before you sign off. Let's look at what the dollar's doing. on a 15-minute chart. Curious what your thoughts are on this.
So this is very interesting because what I've been talking about when we're trading the pound dollar is that price is going to hover around 105 for a long time. And I know you don't look at round numbers a lot, but this sort of move here, if you throw it on a 1 hour, we can see it had that huge spike down.
Oh yeah.
And then an aggressive retracement. And the big thing is it's without news.
Yeah.
So this is not news related. It's just price being priced in. Yeah, it's manipulation. And pound dollar, we've had that uptick back into 125. So if there was a push of the 105s of the dollar, which we got here, where is it going? It's hunting the lows, 124s, which is getting lower and lower to, can we see 124s next week? I don't know. That would be a scary thought for the pound to be so cheap. I don't know. I think we're going to be trading between 105 and the Fibonacci retracement. That Fibonacci retracement is coming from a monthly level, and it's this one here. I drag the fib from the lows to the highs, and that there is the 23.6, and that's the 38.2. Now in my world of trading, if we break below the 23 and close below the 23, it's highly likely that we're going to be trading to 50% of that move,
right?
Which we did. Now
that's part of your scruffy trading, right?
Scruffy, that's the one.
Yeah.
And rough trading, like the rough guide. Scruffy loves fibs. He lives on fibs, and he's kind of pushed that into me as well. I always throw them on, and that's why I have this as green, and this is the golden zone, because it makes it easier to the eye. If the green has been triggered, then trade into the golden zone. The other way is, if the prices come into the golden zone, look for retracement to the upside.
Right.
Which has happened really nicely here. So we are trading below the 38. The big question of this month is, are we closing above it or below it? Because if we close below it, I would be looking for weakness in the dollar index. If we trade above it, then this rebalance of the monthly might be in play.
Gotcha.
What's your thoughts before we close?
No, I like what you're saying, because I'm still looking at a little bit lower time frame perspective, and just recognizing that this run that we had in the dollar came up into that fair value gap, which was that 79% tracement, so it rebalanced that. But what did it do? Again, left behind inefficiencies. So I actually do like that we could see dollar weaken, which then would support your higher move for the pound.
And if you look at this, we are not taking any higher highs on the 15. Lower, 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 lower. Maybe this, you can argue, was the push, but it kind of failed to take the highs. So where is the logical retracement? Obviously to fill in efficiency of this move.
Yep.
If this breaks aggressive to the downside, I'm an optimist on the pound dollar, but that has bitten me. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Well, and how often do you so one thing that I'm keying in on is trying to look past the wicks. And I really take to heart what ICT says, is that the bodies tell the story, the wicks do the damage. So I'm not saying we are to ignore the wicks, but to your point, like those highs, they're even really looks clearer if you squint a little bit. I wear glasses, so my eyes are already jacked up, but it just looks a little bit more clear if I'm seeing it right. That we should see more weakness in the dollar. Just ignore the wicks.
I saw this, I don't know if you saw this during the live with his son, where he took the wick and he took the 50% of the wick and he said, if we trade below the 50% of the wick, then I'm still in a bearish momentum, which I hadn't heard him say before.
He uses those wicks like a fair value gap.
Yeah,
it
does. I mean, I don't know how he does things out of this world.
Yeah,
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah.
But okay, guys, right. Let's see the messages. My bias is still a push higher. Always the chance I'm wrong, though.
Welcome to the group.
Yeah, in price action until that push. Super. Seasonality shows actually euro dollar should move bullish and end of the month it should drop. So DXY should be weaker now. We'll have to go and see. Let me just see if I'm missing any entries on the NAS. We are pushing higher, which is interesting. Let's keep an eye. We're in that fair value gap now. Look at that prediction there.
Yeah, look at that.
We're painting like ICT says.
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
We're in it. We did say, rewind back, we would like to see a run up into this liquidity here. If that happens, don't be surprised if you see me entering this. Because the NAS, what is that? That is like, it's crazy. That's 25 pips. I only want 10. I only want that. So, and risking, what would be risking? 14, 15. That's not bad. So anything around here, I might be interested. I might even wait. Depends on the time. We know that 2 o'clock. Does the 2 o'clock apply to the?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the NAS. So I will turn the screens on. Look at that reaction now. 4. Oof. Sorry, this is happening live. I haven't seen the NAS before, so I'm like, this is like a.
You like it, huh?
This is like a day movement on the pound dollar.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
You got to pick your entries well and your stops.
But look at this. Order block.
True.
Pushed into that. Reacting. Wait, is this normal?
Oh yeah. But
Jesus.
The thing that's hard for me today especially, and maybe it's just the week that we're in, but we're still like, you can make a case for it to going, if you're using the TGIF concept, it can either go north to 15,460 as like a first target, or it could go south to 1286. That's.
So you're saying we're in the middle basically.
If you're gonna use the TGIF model, yeah. And so to me it's really hard to make a case. I mean, everything you're saying I agree with. There's not, but if it's going to go higher, then I would argue that it's maybe we're going to actually retrace to the 20-30%.
What time frame is that?
This is a 4-hour chart.
Wow, you're going big time there.
Yeah, because I want to see where we're at on the week.
I see. So you're saying that we could potentially close the week above?
Well, but we could close it within 20 to 30% of the high of the week. Doesn't always mean it's going to close the low of the week. At least, I mean, anyone on the stream, if they're still with us, that understands the TGIF strategy, feel free to correct me. But there's nothing that states that it's 20 to 30% from the low. It could also be 20 to 30% from the high.
Okay. Maybe I need to make a video on this TJI.
Yeah. Well, watch ICT's version first.
Yeah.
We can have
like Walt said. Put it out there. No, I normally watch a few videos from ICT to try and understand the concept, because if you're going to go out there quoting things from the ICT, you better be right.
Oh yeah.
My biggest fear is ICT coming in one of the videos and saying, this is wrong.
You should turn your stream off right now. Vincent says I'm right on the TGIF. Thanks, Vincent.
All right, good.
Yeah.
We can trust them then.
So we can make a case like this is high resistance, low probability trading, because where is it going to go? Based on the current week's range, we are at equilibrium.
So it can go either way.
Go either way. When you can go either way, I would argue we're gambling now. But you can still, gamblers have an edge through money management. So,
you can be the casino.
You can still do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can be a gambler.
Yeah. We'll be back at 2:00 and who knows what'll happen.
With a TJI Friday meal. Yeah. All right, guys, what's Martin saying? So this has been a down week and we have already retraced to 30%. That is correct, yes. We've gone down to the 20s. Very close to...
Well, it made this range and then it retraced past the 20 and 30 up to equilibrium. The question is it going to now come back down and close back to 20? Don't know.
That would be a continuation of the downside.
Yep.
Like you can see there. If you not that we do trend lines, but sometimes trend lines it's easier to show you what I'm looking at. That there. Like lower highs, failing to take liquidity. If you fail to take liquidity, then you can see a continuation of the move, obviously. I will be interested around in 1.5 hours before we're just going to open the screens if you're still with us, not here, and it'll be interesting to see how what's happened.
Yeah. Well,
because
before you go, I see Mark. He has some gems here regarding ICT, and I think you're onto something as well. Like I said, my understanding of the TGIF is not 100%, guys. So you're saying it already it made the low, and price has retraced 20 to 30%.
Got ya.
It doesn't mean it's going to close at the 20 to 30%. So I think that's some great.
All right, so there we go. So the retracement is done now, as far as ICT teaches, and that's coming from a charter mentor.
Mark.
Mentorship.
Thanks for the clarification. Appreciate it.
Now we're filling this fair value gap there, and I promise we will close. But this is too exciting, and I don't get Walt. This is probably the only chance we're going to be face to face.
I don't know.
Unless you come to Bali for some surfing and some volleyball, or if we're back in New York. So fair value gap there. Without knowing the TJI
throw that out.
Fridays.
That's not your strategy. Throw that out.
What I see, a potential for liquidity draws above these areas, because it's the only indice that we haven't broken the highs. So I would like to be able to trade this in a safe manner, and a safe manner on something that moves like the Nas, so scary. It's going to take the highs around silver bullet. That is the bold prediction, and then I would like to trade it down for 10 pips. If that doesn't happen, there is no trade for me today, and that's okay. Great stream. I'm really enjoying the insights of your ICT trading analysis. Do you have any tips for newcomers looking to get started in ICT trading? 2022, guys. If you haven't seen anything, and you can stay awake through ICT videos, which is very, very hard task. I have slept maybe 3 or 4 times through a video, and I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, it was a playlist. Now I've gone 4 videos down. I don't know where I am. So many times. But the guy, I can't believe that he's given this for free. All this for free. I also can't believe how accurate this is. And this ICT is the only reason I've extracted so much money from from him and Scruffy Trader. I have to give Scruffy Trader huge kudos for what he taught me. But these 2 guys are the reason I was able to pass boot camps and do that, sort of extract money from that. People say he's the GOAT. I don't know.
He doesn't like to hear
if that exists in the world of trading.
Yeah.
That also gets a lot of people fired up who are against ICT.
Yeah.
ICT is dropping a new model this afternoon. Oh my God, no!
I don't want to hear it. So to the person that asked about getting started with ICT, do not watch his new stuff.
Yeah, just ignore it.
Go to the 2022 mentorship, commit to it, because if you're new, you don't know any better anyway. So don't look for what you're missing out on. Look for what he's presenting, learn it, practice it, and don't worry about what anyone else is doing.
I agree, I fully agree. Because it can get very confusing very quick. And it's so easy to say, oh, I'm going to jump on 2023 because it's live. You will understand 0 about what he's talking about. And if you think you understand, I can tell you, you're not understanding it in the right manner. So my recommendation is always the 2022 because he simplifies it to a level that his son can understand. If you go and look at his original content, like the price action, I can't remember the sniper
series,
sniper series. They're still very complicated.
They are.
They're not easy forms of understanding content. And he's also become better with the years.
Yeah.
From feedback and how people understand it, especially the interest to explain it to his son has made it a bit simplified. So 2022 is a very, very good start for ICT, I think.
And some of his charter members that paid for his mentorship series have said that he's way more concise and to the point and not as confusing in the 2022 mentorship. So I think the hardest thing though is we're like kids in a candy store when you go to his playlist. And if you can just restrict yourself to that one and just commit. I mean, I don't listen to his new stuff anymore. I just can't.
It's too much.
It's too much. I mean, you can make a case for everything if you keep doing that. And so if you've not mastered anything, then you're a master of nothing. And
also, like even that Wick discussion we had earlier.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what Wick? I was like, why are you bringing new stuff here? I don't understand. Yeah. Wow, look at that. And then, all right, I'm gonna close it.
For real this time, huh?
Because we're not gonna go otherwise. Guys, it's been a pleasure.
It's been fun.
Huge thanks to Walt for driving 2.5 hours here to be with us. I hope you found it. You've learned a lot. Let me just change this view to this view.
Maybe entertained.
One sec. We need to do the good old... Is it coming? Good old Ragnar.
Oh, there we go. Look at that. I like that beard.
It's official. Ragnar is from the USA.
That's great. That's great.
I wish it did too, but it doesn't. Excellent, guys. Catch you tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Saturday. Monday we'll be back. Have a good one and see you later.